Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are heading high up into the Himalayas of Himachal Pradesh to unpack a really captivating architectural mystery. We're going to explore the Chaurasi temple complex in Bharmour. It's this incredible sacred courtyard where time, myth, and architecture literally collide in the most spectacular way.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the mystery of 84, then look at the capital of ancient Brahmapura, step into the court of death, meet the man-lion guardian, and finally wrap up with how the sacred journey begins. All right, part 1, the mystery of 84, myth and reality in the Himalayas. Let's get right into it. So picture this. You step onto an open, paved plateau, sitting over 2,000 meters above sea level. You look around, and you are immediately hit with this massive spatial mystery. Why are there exactly 84 shrines packed so tightly into this one single courtyard? I mean, you've got these towering stone structures right next to tiny, modest little cells. It's a total architectural puzzle that just begs for an explanation. And what's so cool about this site is its duality. On the one hand, you have local tradition. The myth says that 84 Siddhas, these enlightened yogis, stopped here on their travels to Manimahesh. They supposedly angered the local goddess Brahmani by staying overnight, and boom, they were turned into eternal stone lingas. But then, if you look at the actual history, this was a heavily active, thriving site of continuous royal temple building from the 7th to the 10th centuries, right during the absolute peak of the Chamba kingdom. Which brings us to the name itself. Chaurasi is actually the Pahari word for 84, so it turns out it isn't just some poetic title. It is a literal, physical inventory of the sacred structures you're standing right in the middle of. The name basically freezes this ancient geography in time. Moving on to part 2, capital of ancient Brahmapura. Tracking the Varman kings. When you trace the history, you realize this isolated Himalayan plateau wasn't just some quiet religious retreat. It was actually a thriving capital for hundreds of years. It started way back around 580 when the legendary hero Maru founded Brahmapura, which is modern-day Bharmour. Then in the 7th century, you have this massive building boom under Raja Maravarman, and it remained the absolute epicenter of regional power until the capital finally shifted to modern Chamba in the 10th century. But honestly, what is truly striking here is the crazy architectural contrast, sharing the exact same paved courtyard. You literally have two completely different traditions sitting side by side. On one hand, you've got the 7th century Himalayan wooden style, featuring these deeply, intricately carved doorframes. And right next to that, you have the soaring stone towers of the 10th century Nagara style. It's basically a compact open-air record of how Himalayan temple building evolved over 300 years. And tucked inside that older wooden architecture is a true marvel. It is absolutely mind-blowing that ancient metal masterpieces like the 7th century brass image cast by the master craftsman Guga have survived the harsh, freezing mountain elements completely intact for well over a millennium. Talk about incredible craftsmanship, right?
Okay, things are going to take a darker turn now in part 3, the Court of Death, the only temple to the god of death.
Standing in front of the Dharmeshwar Mahadev temple, you can seriously feel the eerie weight of the place. According to the sources, this is believed to be the only temple in the entire world dedicated to Lord Dharmiraj, or Yamraj, the god of death. It even features a totally empty room specifically reserved for Chitragupta, the deity whose entire job is to keep a strict record of your karma. And beneath the stone and wood roof, there's a massive, closed cave. Local belief insists that every single departed soul must travel through this invisible cave to have their final fate decided.
And there's this chilling local folklore that perfectly captures the dread and reverence people have for this spot. The stories say that if a king of Chamba was ever seen in a vision performing an ambulatory round, like walking around this specific temple, word would immediately spread that he had just passed away in his palace, which was miles and miles away.
To even enter this court of Dharmaraj, you have to physically descend what locals call the Daipodi. That means 2.5 steps. Descending these specific 2.5 steps is said to represent the final, inevitable transition of the human soul. It's this brilliant piece of spatial design that literally forces you to humble yourself before the afterlife. Let's shift gears a bit for part 4, the man-lion guardian, Vishnu's fierce avatar in Shiva's court. So this is the Narsingh Temple. The Archaeological Survey of India notes that it's built using a classical layout known as Triyanga. This means it has this strict geometric grammar with specific rhythmic projections that step forward and back. But this isn't just for decoration. It is specifically designed to contain an incredibly volatile and fierce energy. The architecture itself feels like a cage, built to hold something profoundly powerful inside. And that power? It comes from the ultimate divine loophole. There's this famous story of the demon king Hiranyakashipu who thought he was totally invincible because of a clever boon. He couldn't be killed by man or beast, inside or outside, day or night. Just impossible odds, right? Well, Vishnu bypassed all of those impossible demands by arriving at twilight, so neither day nor night, as Narasimha, a creature that was half man, half lion, right on the threshold of the doorway. Boom, loophole found. Because of this incredibly fierce nature, you might think Narsingh is out of place here in Bharmour. But he really isn't. While the rest of the Chaurasi complex is a landscape heavily dedicated to Lord Shiva and Shakti, Narsingh acts as the essential, untamed protector of this sacred assembly. He is there to offer protection against arrogance and harmful forces, standing guard right in the middle of Shiva's court. Finally, let's zoom out a bit for part 5. The sacred journey begins, preparing for the Manimahesh Yatra. Before anyone can even think about undertaking the massive trek to the sacred Manimahesh lake, every single pilgrim has to follow these exact, rigid steps. It all starts with a simple 4x4 meter pool of water. You have to bathe in the pool of Barmani Mata, then descend to the Chaurasi complex to seek blessings, and only then can you ascend the grueling 26 kilometers up to the glacial lake. And this rigid flow all comes from a legendary dispute over stolen space and water. The narrative goes that when those 84 Siddhas took over her space, Mata Barmani was absolutely furious. To appease her, Lord Shiva bestowed a boon that all pilgrims must first seek her blessings or their pilgrimage wouldn't be considered complete. So the fact that Mata Barmani relocated 4 kilometers away, up on a ridge, completely dictates the modern flow of millions of travelers today. During Mahashivratri and the late summer yatra season, the Chaurasi complex just bursts into unprecedented life. You've got devotees thronging the valley chanting Jai Bole and Har Har Mahadev. Locals host massive langars, which are huge community feasts feeding everyone passing through. Tradition even states that Lord Shiva himself halts at Chaurasi on his cosmic journey. His inclusive grace is believed to be so powerful during this festival that locals say even the smallest creatures, like worms and insects, specifically appear in Bharmour just to be part of it all. To truly understand Bharmour, you have to recognize that the Chaurasi complex is not merely a collection of archaeological ruins. For the local Gaudiya shepherd community, this ancient courtyard is the enduring spiritual heart of their world. It is the active center of their universe, a place where history, myth, and daily life still sit side by side inside these 84 incredible shrines. So as departed souls navigate the invisible cave of the afterlife, and as modern pilgrims ascend to the glacial lake, it really makes you wonder, what other ancient secrets remain hidden within these 84 shrines? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep exploring, and I'll see you in the next one.